Welcome to Fabulosity For You, and my name is Angie. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please click the subscribe button, then click the notification bell so when I upload videos, you'll be the first to know. Like this video and make a comment. This channel is about fashion, relationship advice, and lifestyle. And if this is not your first time visiting my channel, well, welcome back, my queens, and welcome to the kings out there. And welcome to all of my new subs, and welcome back to the subs that have been with me. Okay? Welcome. So before we begin, I want to first say I got over 2,000 subscribers. And I am so happy, honey. I am so happy. I want to thank all of my subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I'm going to do all of that and talk about all of that in my next video. So very soon, I've been very busy, guys, but very soon, this week, one day this week, I will put down the rules of the giveaway. But in order to be a part of the giveaway, you must be a subscriber. So if you have not subscribed by now and you've been watching me, what are you waiting on? Click that subscribe button. Honey, gas is high. Food is high. I know somebody can use some cash. And Angie gonna give some cash away, okay? I will be giving cash away. So stay tuned to the giveaway rules that I'll be putting out this week. Okay, so today is Ratchet Wednesday. It's Ratchet Wednesday. And today I am doing the review of the 90-Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 7, Episode 9, Things Fall Apart. But before we get right into it, go get your drink of choice, go get your snack of choice, and come back and sit with your girl Angie. Text, email, call, stick a letter in the bottle, baby, and let everybody know that Angie is on the line. So I just also want to say next week, I'm going to go live. Yes! I'm going to go live. Do you know I've been on YouTube and have never gone live? So I'm going to go live next week on the 90-Day Fiance Before the 90 Days on next Wednesday. Make sure you tune in to me. Make sure I want you giving me comments. I want you talking back to me and all of the things. We're going to have a party, honey. We're going to do it live. I also next week going to do Celebrity Gossip Live, honey. I want to see comments. I want y'all talking back. I want you guys to really get into it because I'm about to get into it, okay? It's going to be off the chain. All right, so let's begin. Okay, so this week, oh my God, I was screaming at the TV, okay? I'm like, no! It was a lot going on. Okay, so the first couple we're going to talk about is Tigerlily and Adnan. So Tigerlily is back at home and she's getting her hair done by her stylist. And he sees she's kind of down and he's asking her what's going on. And she tells him that her and her new husband is having problems already. It seemed like every day it's a new problem. And he was like, wow, more problems? What's going on? So she was like, well, you know, my back's been killing me. And I told him I was going to see my chiropractor. So I guess he Googled it and he saw some video, some nasty video where the girl had the butt bent over and the chiropractor was on her like this, you know. And he was like, oh no, he sent me the video, and I'm like, first of all, my chiropractor look better than that. But second of all, it's ridiculous. I have health issues as far as my back is concerned. And he's going to tell me he don't want me to see no male chiropractor. In fact, he want me to have all female doctors. Now, I've been putting up with him. But I'm done with all of this shenanigans. I'm not going to take that. And if he thinks the Tigerlily is going to put up with all of this, he best to think again. So, she said that it seemed like the rules for men is different from the women. Yeah. Let's see, what I have a problem with the Tigerlily, Miss Tigerlily, is that she should have known to check, Google at least his customs, his culture, what they believe in. If we have a baby, what religion would they be? How will we raise them? What are you expecting from me? What should I expect from you? She should have done that. But instead, she saw he was a young hottie, and all she was caring about was him breaking her back. Breaking her back, honey. That's all she cared about. She's going to go marry a stranger. She didn't have to have a prenup. She didn't have to do none of that. She's going to marry this man as soon as she get there and not ask no type of questions. And then she was scared when she was in his face to ask things because she didn't want to lose him. Well, guess what, Miss Tigerlily? Either this is what you wanted. You wanted this young stud. You know, you got him. But honey, he was raised with these beliefs. And just because you, Miss Tigerlily, and got some money under your belt, don't mean he gonna change his ways, honey. He is not an American man. And either you gonna fall with the program, or y'all not gonna be together. And so she don't have nobody to blame but herself. So she tells her hairstylist that she's going to Turkey and they're going to meet up and all of the things. And she said what really got her really scared was after he saw the video, he was so upset. Let me turn this camera a little bit. He was so upset that he had to go to the hospital, honey. He had to go to the hospital. His pressure was up. He couldn't breathe and all of the things. And he had to go to the hospital because he said it just made him so angry, the thought of another man touching her. So she acting like all that stuff is cute. And a lot of women, even in the United States, when they have a man that's so jealous where they don't want her going nowhere and they don't want no man talking to them. And some women are foolish enough to believe, oh, he just really loved me. That's real cute. I never had nobody love me like that. That's not love, honey. That's somebody that wants control. Now, with Adnan, it is his culture. So I'm giving him a break. But women in the United States go through that, but it's something different. It's control. With Adnan, I think it's a little bit of both. The men are in charge, the men are the head, and you got to get with their program. So she ends up traveling to Turkey, and she said this trip is supposed to be a trip that they're supposed to start their family and be involved, in making a baby and talking and all of the things. And instead of her being excited, she's worried about what he's going to, talking to him about all these issues and how he's going to react to it. Now, while she's on the plane, she's going through social media, and guess what? She finds a picture of Adnan with his shirt off in a hot shower, and she thought that was so disrespectful. So she texted him on this picture and said, take it down. And he was like, no, a Muslim man or whatever he is, they can they can have their shirt off in his culture. It's okay for a man to have their shirt on. And she said, well, I find it very disrespectful, and he was very dismissive. So she was really upset about that as well. Meanwhile, they go to Adnan, and he's excited. He's acting like there's nothing wrong. He was like, I can't see the Tigerlily. I can't wait to see Tigerlily. I miss her. We're going to start a family. We're going to get close. We're going to have, our communications. We're going to get that straight. And he's looking very forward to the trip. He explained how her talking about this male doctor just made him sick to his stomach when he had to go to the doctor. And he's just really looking forward to spending some quality time. When she came down before to get married, it really wasn't a lot of quality time because there was a lot of people around. They had a lot of things to do in order to get married. So they meet up. They finally meet each other. And she was like, you acting like everything is fine and everything is not fine. And he was like, what are you talking about? And she told him how it's, it's like you could do whatever you want. I mean, the shower thing wasn't like, it was, to me, I wouldn't call it something terrible you did, but I couldn't do that. And so he was like, let me tell you like this, the rules for you is different from my rules. I'm a man. I can show my body. You can't. And so that's how it ended. And so next week, she tells him she's not going to deal with it. And he's like, I'm done. Woo! So we just have to see what happens next week. And Americans that go and try to go to different countries to get a mate, you have to Google and look up their beliefs and their culture, so you're not shocked when things aren't different, when things are not going the way you want. Coming from going to another country, finding a mate, it's like coming from two different worlds. And if you don't know anything about it, it can be a shock. But the crazy thing about it is, why didn't you look it up? Why wouldn't you look it up? But anyway, we just have to wait and see what happens with that. The next couple we're going to talk about is going to be Chidi and Rayne. Okay? Chidi and Rayne. Okay, so it starts off where Chidi is at home at his sister's house, and Chidi's sister and his brother-in-law, her husband, call him into their bedroom. Now, the way they sit, it's like his back is to both of them, okay? And so the brother-in-law was like, what's up, Chidi? Have you talked to Rayne? What's going on? What are your thoughts? Your sister and I want to know. So he was, I just think that I have love for her, and I am saddened about what has happened. But when I really think about it, I want to be with Rayne. The sister they was all looking at him like he was a damn fool, okay? And they was like, okay. Now, I'm going to say this, Chidi. You say you in love with her. Why do you feel like you want to be with her? Well, you don't understand. When I first met Rayne, she told me her story about how she sat up and she dated all these men, and none of them cared about her, respected her, or showed her love. She does not know what love is. I told her I would be there. So the sister was like, so you feel like you want to save her. You made these promises to her and you feel bad because you're not going to be, because of what happened. He's like, yes. So she said, well, Chidi, you say you're in love, but have you forgotten how this woman has talked to you? How she has talked to me? How she disrespected me in this house? how she has disrespected you, how she be talking crazy. I mean, have you forgotten that? And he was like, no, I have not forgotten. And that's what bothers me, because I love her, but, you know, her ways are just, I don't know, they're not right. And she said, listen, you know you're going to have to choose between your family and her, because she doesn't want you with your family. And understand this, Chidi got a whole lot of nerve sitting in his sister and brother-in-law house. They take care of him. That's the only way he's surviving. They do everything for him at the kindness of their heart. He knew before that crazy lady came down and that came to their house and stayed, that she had a whole lot of issues. And she was a hot mess. So he basically said he felt like, you know, he had a lot to do with how things went down. Yeah, you did, because you wasn't honest with her. You didn't tell. You've been talking about sex on the phone with her, probably on the What's Up app. You know, y'all showing each other y'all bodies and talking sex with her. And then she come on down to your country, and then you like, you know, I didn't change my religion. God spoke to me and all this kind of jive. And not saying it's jive, but you didn't tell her about it. When she's expecting, you guys been talking on the phone for 5 years. So you know her very well, her personality. And then you acting brand new when she come down. She should have never came down. You know, to me, you know, and I'm not trying to say no, but he's blind. He's in Africa. He might not have a lot of women that's after him or whatever. So he found somebody, and she's crazy, and she only want him because he's blind. And to say that is kind of tripped out and shows that there's a problem. But he's enjoying, you know, acting normal and just having a relationship over the phone. Chidi could be who he want to be. And I do get it. But now you have to be in reality when this woman wants to come in your world. And you know she got some issues. And so the aunt is like, the sister's like, I'm sorry, Chidi, I'm going to have to let you know she's not for you. You can't save her. This woman got a lot of straight up issues, honey. And you can't save her. But, she said, she wiped her eyes. She said, but, Chidi, I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to let you do what you got to do, Chidi. I'm going to let you do what you got to do. I'm going to let you make that decision. Because I know you want love. But what that means is he going to have to depend solely on Rayne. And Rayne the type of person, honey, she'll probably put him out her house the minute he talk back to her, don't want to do what she say. A lot of women, as I said, and I think that's a reason, she want control over a man. And that's Chidi. So then they show Rayne in the hotel, and she's looking out the window, and she's looking sad, and she said, I haven't heard from Chidi, and I'm in this room. And let me tell you something, the hotel looked like a dump, honey. It looked like a dump. And I'm in this hotel room all by myself, and I just never thought that Chidi wouldn't be here with me. I done traveled miles and miles, many miles, thousands of miles to see this man. He has turned me down in so many ways. And here I am by myself. And so they show her later on, and they show her later on, and she's washing her clothes in a tub. And honey, the tub water is black dirty. And she's sitting there. I thought Chidi would have called me by now or surprised me. And he has not. I just knew he was going to come and see me at the hotel. And I'm like, girl, I don't know what's going on in Africa, but they don't have no washing machines. And your clothes must have been filthy because the water was black. So then Chidi goes to his friend one of his closest friends. Why, I don't know. He already made up his mind. His sister already said, but maybe he wanted to hear somebody a second opinion. But he was like, he told her to tell the guy that Rayne came and how she snapped off and disrespected his family. And the man was looking like, wow, she did that. And he was like, and so she left and abruptly and went to a hotel. And I wanna go to her. I wanna be with her. And he was like, listen, man, I done heard a lot about her, and she's no good. You telling me she be talking like spirits all around and talking crazy. She done snapped off and disrespected your own sister and disrespected you. I don't know what kind of love you got for her, but you need to leave her alone. You need to let her go. You no good for her and she no good for you, huh? No good for you, Chidi. Let it go. Now, if you want to see her for closure, you need to see her and let her know that this is it. And he was just like, oh my God. He know that's the right thing to do. He knows she crazy. So then they see her go back to the hotel with her, and she laying in the bed. She got lingerie on. She just bawled, and she was like, Chidi called me, and Chidi said he want to see me. So I got happy, and I went out, and I know he can't see, but I got some real soft material. She was taking pictures of her house up. I got some real soft material, and so I'm gonna give him something he can feel. I'ma give him something he can feel. Honey, she crazy. And that's what she wanted all along. She wanted to get him alone in a hotel so she can have sex with him. So she can change him from his beliefs in all of the things. So she not respecting his religion. She don't understand his culture. But she just want what she want. So I don't know if she gonna give him something he can feel, or is he gonna break up with her? We have to wait till next week. Okay, so the next couple that we're going to talk about is going to be Brian and Ingrid. And so Brian and Ingrid, so Brian asked Ingrid again, I would like to meet your parents. I want to end this trip while at least I get a chance to meet your parents. So she said, okay, it's all set. So he go over to Ingrid's house, and she's supposed to be cooking lunch. Okay, so the mother comes in, and she look at him like, she had this look on her face the whole time. And he's like, well, I'm always been good with parents and all of the things. But, let me go back. So him and Ingrid was talking before the mama got there. And Ingrid said her father not going to be able to make it. He has to work. He was very disappointed. He was like, oh, wow. I was really looking forward to meeting the father. So she said, but my mother's coming. So he was, okay, well, at least I get the chance to meet the mother. So, like I said, the mother comes in, and she's looking all stank. And he was like, hi, how are you? It's nice to meet you. And she was like, and he was like, I hear that your husband can't come. He has to work today, huh? And she was like, okay, so what do he do for a living? And she was like, he works machines. Oh, okay. And so Ingrid was saying how his father drives a tractor and all of the things. And so he was like, well, I was real disappointed that he couldn't come. And she was like, well, did she tell you that, she going to come over and visit me in the United States? And she was like, oh, I don't think her father would agree with that. Her father's not going to agree with that. And so she was like, oh, he said, she was like, my father, he's the one that approves whether I go somewhere or not. And he was like, well, you too old for that. You got 2 kids. You should be able to go where you want to go. So then he was like, I have a gift for you. And so she was like, and she opened it up and she looking like, oh, it's a purse, who cares? And so, his feelings was acting like it was hurt and all of that. And so he was like, wow, when she said her parents were hard to deal with, I didn't think it would be like this because I'm somebody that can just talk and people going to like me. So I don't know if it's the wheelchair. So she was like, well, Mama, everybody lunch is ready. And so they go out and Mama was like, she was like, Mama, you ain't going to eat? Not hungry. The producers was like, do you like him? No. So he was like, you're not going to eat? No. So it was said that she begged her mama to come, honey. She had to beg her mama to come. She was like, honey, it's lights, camera, action. Don't make me look bad on TV, mama. You got to at least come. So she came. But she didn't tell her they was going to eat no lunch. Mama was like, I didn't eat. I'm not finna break bread with nobody I don't like. I'm not finna sugarcoat nothing. I done already ate. Be glad that's what I said, because I could say, I don't want to eat with you. Now, he thought it was super rude. He was like, it is so rude her mama acting like that. I can't believe her mama didn't act like that. And she was like, oh my God. Ingrid was like, I am so embarrassed. But at the end of the day, he think it's the wheelchair. He asked her, is it because I'm in a wheelchair? And she was like, I really don't know. I know for me, it's hard. It's hard to get used to. So, first of all, you act like you can't see. You got all this gray hair. This woman is in her early 30s, and you 2 years or 3 years younger than her daddy, honey. You in a wheelchair. You been a drug dealer. You a liar. Now, I don't think she told her mama all of that, because I know I wouldn't. If I knew my parents was difficult, why would she tell her all the truth? She keeping that part to herself and maybe to her friends. She didn't tell her parents that. But the mama come in and you an old man compared to her daughter. You old enough to be her daddy. And I ain't trying to talk about nobody in a wheelchair, but then you are in a wheelchair, and this woman has never dated nobody in a wheelchair, and she looking at her daughter like, are you you that desperate? You got to get somebody old as your daddy? Can he really take care of you? Mama is disappointed in her daughter. Okay? But Mama had said, when the producers asked her, is it because he's in a wheelchair? And she said, no. This is my only daughter. I don't want her dating nobody from no another country and leave our country and leave us. I don't even know why Ingrid is still dating him. She said a few weeks ago, psychologically, she's not used to dealing with somebody with a handicap. So I don't know if she just want to be on TV and get a check. Do she want? Or do she just want to be supported? Cause he's 50-something years old. She got a small baby and a lot of small children. So I don't know. But if it was my daughter, I could say you could do better than that. She's a good-looking woman. But it's not because he's in a wheelchair. It's a combination, I think, of a lot of things. And one of them is he's from another country. And so I'm not mad at the mama. Mama kept it real. She wasn't finna sugarcoat nothing. And it is what it is. And see, he seems so entitled. Like, she done already told him how her mama and daddy was. He gonna keep pressing the issue. Now I want to meet them. Now I want to meet them. Now you matter. And now you know. I don't like Brian. Brian lied about his age, said he was in his 40s. Brian never did tell her she was a drug dealer. Brian didn't say, a whole lot of things. He said he was very independent in his wheelchair, but yet she still had to help him. So at the end of the day, she said if she would have known all of this before he got here, she would have told him not to come. But anyway, we got to see what happened next week. I'm going to make it really quick. The next few that we have, we're going to talk about Vanya and Bozo. So, but she missed her flight, so she calling Bozo that she done called a million times, and she tell him, listen, I missed my flight. I'm not at the airport. And he was like, okay. And so I just letting you know it's gonna be a couple hours later. So he was like, just let me know. So she was like, oh my God, he finally answered the phone. Because this girl was going crazy when he did answer the phone. So she finally gets to his country. But before that, he's talking to he comes in with this raggedy plant that he found in the garbage. And he tells his mother and aunt, I'm about to go meet Vanya. And he shows them this plant, and they just surprised he did anything. And they was like, oh, wow, he must really like her. And so he was excited. He was saying how she's bubbly, and she's this, and she's that. And he was excited. And they were so happy, and they was like, oh, my God. Mama was like, I hope it work out for him. I pray that it work out for him so he can get the hell out of my house. And so he goes to the airport. He's like, I know she's going to have on pink because her favorite color is pink. She sees him. She runs like in the movies and jumps in his arms. And he said, Vanya! And they hugging each other. And she is so happy. And she just hugs him. And, you could tell he's like, okay. But she's like, oh, my God, I got you in the flesh. And she's just hugging his neck and hugging him. And he's like, yeah, I'm happy to see you, too. Okay, And so he says, are you really tired? And she thanked him for the plant. And she was like, I really like plants instead of, most people would have some flowers, but plants, they die. And so she's happy to have the plant. So he says, are you tired? Did you get any sleep? She said, I really didn't get too much sleep. He said, because I had plans for us. And she was like, yes. I'm excited. So she was excited. They got in the car. And she was like, oh, my God, I'm so glad you planned something. This is so nice. I got you in person. You so cuddly. Oh, my God. And so they get to this this place where they making pizza. And so he takes the roll. And he's rolling out the pizza. And it's this big old pizza because there's other couples there. And they was like, okay, he marriage material. He know how to cook and this and that. And she just loved it. She was like, oh my God, I love it. Yes, marriage material. Yeah. And she was like, yes. And she was just smiling. And they was asking the other couple how long they've been together. And they was asking them how long they've been together. And she was like, we've been together for 8 months. And I just got off the plane. I just got here. And I'm so happy to be here. And they asked him, so how serious are you? And he was like, oh, we're just friends. Good friends. And honey, that smile. She was like, no, we're not. Do you think I came all this way to see you to be just your friend? We're supposed to maybe be each other's person. We're not friends. And she took her wine glass and she was at this, it's like smack look on her face, and she was embarrassed. And then he knew he said something stupid, Because he was like, he said the wrong thing. And everybody else was looking like, oh my. Oh, they was clutching their pearls. Oh my. And so she was hurt. She tried to play it off, and they got in the car, and she was like, it was really hurtful, very hurtful. But she's not going to make a big deal out of it. They still have the rest of the night. And they get to her place. She rented a beautiful, it looked like some type of loft. And it was beautiful. And he was saying how all these people, famous people, lived over here. And then she said, and now it's Vanya and Baza. And he's looking like, So they go inside, and she had these little souvenirs, a souvenir for him that she made for him. And then she had these cookies she made. And then he was like, I'm tired. I'm going to get out of here. And she said, well, I have a beautiful couch you can sit on. He was like, no, I'm going to go. And so she was really hurt that he left. She thought they would spend more time together, really that they would spend the night. And she was hurt. And, I think, to be honest with you, I think that because how can you been talking with somebody for 8 months, you've been looking at them, so you already know if you got chemistry, okay, in 8 months. But I think that because he lied to her and said he didn't have a job, he didn't want to have sex with her and get too close until he tell her the truth. Because she can say, oh, I don't want to be with you, and that's really his fear. So we know he really liked her, but he know he done lied to her, and he got to break that news to her. That's what I think. But in the meantime, she was very hurt, and next episode, she asked him, do you think it's chemistry between us? And he was looking like, but I don't see how it wouldn't be. I mean, yes, it's different in person, but if you talking to each other on the phone and you got, you able to FaceTime each other, if there's some type of chemistry. And you've been talking to her for 8 months. I think that he's afraid that, he got to tell her that he don't have no job. Why do these people lie? It's just easier to tell the truth. Okay, so we got to wait and see what happens with that. The next couple we're going to talk about is, Faith and Loren. And I'm going to make this quick because I don't want this video to be too long. So, Faith decided last week she was going to take Loren to see her family. He paid for the trip. They got different rooms. So, she wanted to spend time with him before she actually took him to see his family. So, she decided to go swimming. Everybody Faith feels like a lady, real feminine in the water. So, they go swimming, they go swimming in the water, and she loves her hair to flow and all of the things. They get out the water, and he's, rubbing her feet, trying to be, trying to get her to forgive him. And so, he says, are you okay with me meeting your family? And she was like, yeah. And so he said, tell me about your growing up in your family and about your family. So she tells him how her dad left. I guess he died, and she was the oldest sibling. The other siblings were very young. So she had to move to a different city where she lives now to make money. It was really hard for her, and she was the breadwinner, and she's always had to take care of her family, and nobody ever have taken care of her. And so she got real choked up talking about it. And he was like, that's okay. That shows you're a hard worker. And, but are you going to tell your family about what happened with us? And she was like, I don't know. Is that okay? I just really don't know. I doubt very seriously if she take this man to meet his family and tell her family that this man had gonorrhea because he cheated on her. I doubt if she says that. But she's just trying to make him nervous and all of that and said she would. And so after they leave there, they're going to go to meet her family. He felt like it was a good day because she opened up and talked about things that was hurtful to her about how she grew up. And you could tell when he was massaging her feet, she was feeling a certain way. You know, she probably gonna have sex with him by the end of the trip, honey. You know, she waiting for him to clear up. I don't like Loren. He's a liar. And right now, I really don't like too much Faith, because Faith didn't have to take him to see her family. Faith could have went on her own. Faith could have took a friend with her. She didn't have to take him. She should have dropped that 0, okay? Because he's a user. And so a lot didn't happen with them except for, you know, she's expressing what happened and all of the things. But I personally think that Faith is a fool. So next, the last couple we're going to talk about today is Niles and Matilda. Okay, let me make this quick. So, Niles tells her last week he can't marry her. I was screaming at the TV because he was like, I told you I wasn't going to marry you. Matilda came back. She calmed down. She came back to talk to him. And he like, I told you I couldn't marry you. And she was like, you didn't tell me that. And I was hollering at the TV. I said, you a lie. You a lie. You didn't tell her that. I was getting mad. And he was like, I told you, you never once. How many times did I tell you? How many times did you hear me say, I'm marrying you? Not one time. She said, how you going to talk to me like this? How you going to talk to me like this? You lied. You're lying. And I mean, she was upset. She was pissed. He was like, I'm not lying. Nobody's a liar. I did tell you that. So, honey, she had to walk. She had to walk. She had to get away from him. So, the producers were telling Niles. They said, Niles, you talk to us about it. And let's keep it real. You didn't tell her, you never told her you weren't going to marry her. Yes, I did. Well, if that's the case, it don't add up with your story, because why in the world would she still be talking to you about putting a wedding together if you had told her y'all want to get married? Why didn't you stop and tell her while she was talking, I told you we want to get married, if that was the truth? And he was like, well, you know, I think this is called masking. I guess you're right. I really didn't say all what I needed to say, and that's my problem. I have a problem just, you know, not trying to start problems with people, and so sometimes I'm not honest. And I'm like, man, you knew what you was doing. You bought the ring, you bought the skirt, you was taking her out to soften the blow. You knew she didn't know. So he said, I think I need to talk to Matilda. So he go in the van, and she's like, I need to go back to the hotel. So he tell them to take her back to the hotel. And they get to the hotel, and before they go to inside the hotel, he takes her out back, and he says, you know what? I'm sorry. And he comes clean. I know I didn't tell you that. I think that this is called masking. When you have autism, sometimes this happens where you're afraid to tell the truth. Lies! I'm screaming at the TV. Lies! And it is lies. And so, I'm sorry, Matilda. And she said, well, when are you going to marry me? And he said, well, let me go home. Let me get everything mapped out. And in a couple months, I'll be ready to come back, Matilda. And she said, well, can you, and she said, well, can you do the will you do the knocking? And he said, I can do just about everything. I can do the knocking because that's like being engaged, and we just got engaged. I can do that, Matilda. But if they're gonna ask, when you gonna marry me? My family gonna ask. And she said, will you tell them? And he said, I will tell them. So Matilda was like, even though I'm very hurt, and he lied, don't change the fact that I love him. And so she said, okay, well, are you going to promise me that you come back for me? And he said, I promise, Matilda. And so it's just a shame how he did that, girl. I don't like Niles. I just feel like he was dead wrong. He knew what he was doing. And it was just terrible for him to do that. And so I don't like him at all. And I think that she should just go her own ways. But she says she loves him. And let's keep it real. She want to come to the United States to have a better life for her and her family. So next week, it shows that, you know, he tells the family, and they looking at him like maybe they're not gonna let her marry him. And so if that happens, that's what he get. That's what he deserves. But we have to just wait till next week. So that's all I got. That's all I have. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching my channel.